Hello everybody and welcome to the 5-minute movement. 5 minutes of movement to get us moving in all sorts of ways. Today's movement is based on the squat and some variations that I'm going to offer around that squat to experience how a different position can challenge our strength and our mobility in a variety of ways. So here we go. Let's get bird timer ready. Bird is ready, and so am I. So first of all, referencing the squat. For most people, when they're doing a squat, their toes are turned out about 10 to 15 degrees and their legs are a little bit wider than their hips because you need room for the pelvis to go up and down. And that's one of the key features of the squat, in that the tailbone is going down and up with the knees tracking over the second or third toe or the space in between. And you can see the tailbone is going down and up. I'm not trying to keep my spine vertical though, so watch what happens when I keep my spine vertical, and I'm really going to go for it here. That's as far as I can go while keeping my spine vertical. Really, that's as far as I can go. So that's also placing a bunch of pressure on my lower back, which is not what I want to work on. Instead, I want to work on the mobility of my lower body. So I'm going to let the angle of my torso adjust as my tailbone gravitates down and a little bit back. So you can see that the angle of my torso is roughly the same as the angle of my shins. They're kind of parallel. Now I'm going to come back up. So let's just reference that a few times. For a lot of people, holding the arms out in front as though you're holding a serving tray offers a little bit of counterbalance and makes this position a little bit easier. And now let's see if we can bring a little coordination into that. So this time I'm going to hold my hands as though I'm holding kind of a big beach ball. And first of all, let's just reference the hand motion. So lifting the arms up to kind of shoulder height, maybe a little bit higher, but not up like this, and then down again. So just up and down. And you'll note that there's a certain roundness in my joints, the wrists, the elbows, even the shoulders, so I'm not holding them out like this. So there's a certain roundness, like I'm holding a big beach ball. So now I'm going to aim to synchronize my hands to come to the highest point, which would be kind of about jaw level, at the point that my tailbone is the lowest, and then I'm going to come back up, and my hands are the lowest at the very moment that I come fully to stand. So let's see if we can work on making that coordination as precise as we can. This might slow us down a little bit as we really pay attention to the relative rates of the tailbone lowering and the hands rising. Well, this is good news, because the more time that I spend with my muscles working, the stronger my muscles are going to get. So staying with the task, which is to find as perfect as you can, synchronization of the movement of the arms and the movement of the tailbone. Trying to get a little bit more precise and figure out how to do that each time. So that's the basic pattern. But now what happens when we twist it a little bit? So now I'm going to keep my knee where it is, and I'm just going to turn my pelvis. So I'm not turning from my spine, I'm simply turning my pelvis to the right. And then let's try turning it to the left. Turning it to the right, turning it to the left. If I put my hands on my back, I can feel that the spine isn't really moving here. It's my pelvis that's turning me to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right. Once I have that sense of not turning and twisting my spine, but instead turning from my feet and my pelvis, I'm going to go back to my squat. So can I, in this position, with my knees continuing to track between the second and the third toe, rather than one knee caving in, like that, what kind of squat can I achieve with a relatively neutral spine? So this is a way of playing with my curiosity to see how different positions influence the experience of the movement that I'm playing with. So I'm just sending my tailbone down and coming back up. And you can see that naturally I'm beginning to play with that coordination where my tailbone is sinking, my hands are rising. I'm trying to coordinate the movement of both. Tailbone sinks, hands rise, and so on. I try the other side a few times. And I'm noticing how this challenges my joints quite a bit differently than when I'm in a forward-facing position. In fact, let's try one on one side, come to a forward-facing position, and then try one on the other side, just so that we are giving ourselves the opportunity to notice the difference between the three positions. This time, can I sink and now in the sunken position with my heels down, turn to the other side and rise. Go back to my starting position, so I'm turned to the right. I'm going to lower my tailbone into my squat, stay in the squat while now I turn to the left and rise. Turn to the right, sink, turn to the left, rise. One more in this direction. And I'm continuing to play with the coordination of the rising of the hands and the lowering of the tailbone. Let's try it in the opposite direction now, which is sinking to the left, shifting, rising to the right, go back to the left, sinking to the left, shifting, rising to the right, and again, left, shift, right. Left, shift, right. And note if you need a little bit of a rest, you can do that without stopping moving just by taking a little bit of time in the more upright position. If I want to give myself more challenge, I can spend more time in the bottom position. So I can go sink, shift, rise, sink, shift, rise. My heels are staying down for the entire time. And this is going to challenge my joints differently than if I let them lift. So, bird has spoken. I've gone a little bit over time today, but that gives you a bunch of variations to play with and to be curious about how changing the position of your squat can challenge both your strength and your mobility in different ways. See you again soon. Take care now. Bye.